My friend, please.
So, Vadityavat or Vatyavat. So, Naik, you are from Hyderabad only.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. What are your parents doing?
So my father is in SBI and my mother is a homemaker, sir.
Okay. Where do you study and all?
Sir, I've done my graduation in mechanical engineering from IIT Madras, sir, in a dual degree program.
Good, good. You are an engineer basically
Yes, sir.
from IIT.
Yes, sir.
That's really great. Mechanical engineering.
Yes, sir.
You're good at maths or good at physics and chemistry?
Sir, I would say I'm good at mathematics, sir.
Okay. Good at mathematics.
Yes, sir.
Is there any unsolved problem in mathematics?
So there are 7 unsolved problems in mathematics.
Huh.
One of them is solved recently by a Russian. They are called, I think, millennial problems, sir. So one of them is Riemann hypothesis, which is still unsolved. There are 6 others, sir, but one of them is resolved, sir.
Recently.
Yes, sir.
Do we have any great mathematician in India?
There was Ramanujan, sir, but after that, I'm not really sure.
Even earlier. Okay, in the history of India.
So there have been mathematicians, sir. For example, one is Aryabhatta, then Bhaskaracharya. Others I'm unable to recall, sir.
You have chosen mathematics because you scored well or because you have basic interest in mathematics? Like a kind of a curiosity or that kind of enthusiasm to...
Sir, I have been curious in mathematics and also I have scored well throughout my schooling and as well as plus 2 intermediate, sir. So it was the primary reason why I got into IIT. So.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But what's your option?
My option is Anthropology, sir.
You're interested in watching seinen anime.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me about that?
Ma'am, anime is a Japanese form of animation. It has multiple genres based on age groups, ma'am.
What is the meaning of seinen?
Seinen is a type of anime which is used for, which is given for adults, ma'am. And there is, let's say, shonen anime, which is for teens. So this seinen anime, adult genre anime, has multiple subgenres like fiction, slice of life, science fiction. All these are subgenres, ma'am.
So in India we have censor board for films, for cinema.
Yes, ma'am.
So what are the regulations for OTT platform? How
Yes.
you regulate OTT platform, the content in the OTT platform?
Yes, ma'am. There has been a hue and cry recently to regulate OTT platform content, ma'am. But the government has come up with a bill, telecom bill, I suppose, to regulate OTT platforms. But it hasn't been finalized, I believe, ma'am. So
I think
have to.
from 1st September 2023, you have to follow the OTT rules 2020. So recently we have heard Bilkis Banu case,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So what is the role of government in taking remissions? Role of state government in remission of sentence. It is the Gujarat government.
Yes, ma'am. In the Bilkis Banu case, Gujarat government has taken the remission, ma'am. Under the constitution, at the center, there is Article 72 which provides pardon of sentences, ma'am.
I am asking the role of state government.
Okay, even in state governments, I think there is a power of remission given to governor, which is to be exercised by aid and advice of the Council of Ministers of the state, ma'am.
But in this particular case, I think it is related to state of Maharashtra. But the convicts are in the prison of Gujarat. Right?
I'm not sure, ma'am. I have to read on it.
Just go through the case.
Yes.
And the sections of 423 and 424 of CRPC as well.
I'm not aware of the specifics, ma'am. Sorry.
This issue of truck drivers going crazy last week happened, right?
Yes, sir.
Instantaneously, the country came on to a standstill,
Yes, sir.
more or less,
Yes, yes.
right? What was the provision that the AIMTC was All India Motor Transport Corporation was agitating against? Do you have an idea?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So recently in the BNS bill, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanchita bill, section
Yeah.
106
Yeah.
says that
Which subsection of 106?
106 clause 1 and clause 2, sir.
2, both.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
So these clauses have increased the quantum of sentence
Okay.
to 10 years and 7 lakh of fines, sir,
Okay.
for hit and run cases.
Other dimension of protest?
So
What is the difference between the older IPC
in the older IPC there was only 2 years of sentence, sir.
other than this? Other than the period of punishment? What was the clause?
Other than the period of punishment, I'm not sure, sir. I have to read on it.
As per the older this thing, a truck driver can flee if he fears a mob fury. So there was an exception given earlier.
Okay.
That exception has been removed this time. Okay. So that is the major. They are not bothered about the year of, though there is a point of contention, but the major point of argument against the government was two-dimensional. First was, in the case of a mob fury is one, and second dimension was conditions beyond the control of the driver. Like there is a brake failure, or there is any other impediment he feels that he has to cross a point before a given period of time.
Yes, sir.
If it is an army vehicle, because
Yes,
he has
sir.
to reach a particular place.
Yes, sir.
All these dimensions were given as exceptions in the earlier
Okay.
jurisprudence, which was missing in the.
Okay.
The second was the AIMTC said no consultations were done.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Check it. This is a major part.
Yes, sir.
So many times in the recent past, especially ever since the new incumbent government has come to power, a lot of protests are happening against legislative functions of the government.
So, center, sir.
Yeah, the center. I'm
Yes.
especially talking about the center.
Yes, sir.
When you take the example of Agniveer as a scheme that was brought, be it the farmers bill, the 3 farm bills,
Yes, sir.
why is it so that the
Regarding the farms bill, again, there have been no consultation with the stakeholders
Yeah.
before taking the bill, and also the bills were passed in a hurry, sir, initially, and there was the
is
bills were not-
consultation constitutionally mandatory?
Consultation with the stakeholders is not mandated, sir, but consultation in the parliamentary committees, it's not mandated, but it is suggested, sir.
Okay.
In the process of passing a bill, in middle of the process, it says you can give it to the parliamentary committee or send it to president or send it to other organ of parliament like Rajya Sabha.
But don't you think subjecting every legislative decision of the government to parliamentary committee's approval
Yes, sir.
somewhere belittles the power of Lok Sabha in the legislative making and delays the process of legislation?
Sir, sir, I can take the example of UK, sir, which says that every bill has to pass through parliamentary committees, and it does not belittle Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha in any way, sir. Since Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they have many matters to deal with, while parliamentary committees have expert opinions, which is taken into consideration.
What's your opinion on the personal data protection bill? Since 2015, it is still languishing.
So because of the changing landscape of the privacy of individuals and the internet as such, the digital protection bill has been changing, I think, because of the government's insistence that we need to have a control on public's data to ensure that internal security is protected.
Can you give me any data update if you have recent cyber attacks that have happened on critical infrastructure?
In Hyderabad cyber crimes, they have released the data that last year nearly 252 crores of money were looted directly from Hyderabad only, sir, through cyber crimes. Yes, sir.
Okay. You have heard about CERT?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
CERTIN is a organization which is mandated by IT Act, sir, IT Act 2000 to protect the digital infrastructure.
Do you know the composition of our forex reserves? what all are there in our basket of forex reserves?
So yes, in terms of currency or in terms of how we get the money?
No, I just want to know the composition. Say for example,
Dollar.
the volume of our forex reserves is $623 billion.
Yes, sir.
Check in. Do you have any idea how this 623 is distributed? I don't want the numbers. I just want to know the subsets.
Yes, sir. There are NRI deposits. There are remittances.
No?
And
These are all trade dimensions. They talk. I'm talking from the perspective of the government's holding of forex reserves. The four bifurcations. No? We hold it in form of gold also.
okay, yeah, yes,
Yeah.
sir, yes. Sir. The largest component is in dollars, sir.
Second largest component in the basket of forex reserves.
I think it is in yuan, sir. Chinese yuan or pounds. I'm not sure, sir.
Okay. After the currency assets,
And there is this IMF or gold. So I think it is a gold, sir. Then
Okay.
comes the IMF. There is some currency of IMF which I'm unable to recall right
SDRs.
now. Yes, sir.
SDRs.
SDRs. Yeah.
Okay. You heard of this word reserve transposition, RTP, reserve
Yes, sir.
transposition?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Because you brought the topic of IMF.
yes, sir.
Yeah. Any idea what it could be?
Sir, each country
Yeah.
puts a certain amount of money with the IMF as a reserve.
Good.
I think that is called reserve transposition. Sir.
No, but not complete. The 25% of your contribution to IMF funding is called the reserve transposition. IMF as an institution, do you think it is doing justice to the world economy?
Sir, the recently developing countries and the underdeveloped countries have complained that IMF wants to push its agenda, that is truly the Western agenda of capitalism, into the developing countries without realizing what the ground state is in those countries, sir. For example, recently Pakistan's package
Yes.
and
Good.
then Sri Lanka's package, for instance.
If you have to name a country as a true friend of India, which would be that country and why?
Sir, it would be Russia, sir.
It would be
Without
Russia.
a doubt. Yes, sir.
Why?
Even recently, Jaishankar, Minister of External Affairs, he has said that it is a time-tested relationship. So there are multiple reasons to say why Russia is a closest ally of India, sir. One is that the historical basis of our relationship, it has provided us aid in 1971 war when the whole West was against us. Again, second, it is a trusted relationship, sir.
But don't you think it is geopolitical? What have we
Sir.
given to Russia? Why he is always being friendly to you? What have we given to Russia? When it came to Ukraine war, we didn't do anything. When it came to Western sanctions, we didn't do anything. Though we have increased, our trade is hardly 10-12 billion dollars. That is also now.
Yes, it has increased to $45 billion. Sir.
Now.
Yes, sir.
Earlier it was 5-6, maximum
Yes.
$7 billion.
Yes, sir.
Why is that country so benevolent to you?
Sir, it is probably due to the rise of India as a global power in the shifting global order in the multipolar world. India being an ally of Russia is always good for Russia, sir. Even
There is one very golden principle Chanakya told. Your immediate neighbor is your natural enemy and his neighbor is your natural ally. Check it.
I'm unaware of it.
So-
I'll look into it.
Look into that.
Yes, sir.
So these, especially these surnames, how many of them?
How many of them I don't know, sir, but they are clans, sir. From anthropological knowledge, they are
Yes,
clans.
clan names.
In my personal experience, I've heard of some 10 plus
Your option is?
anthropology, sir. Yes, sir.
So learn more about your,
Sure, sir.
the language and the clans.
Yes.
What is the background behind each clan? Based on that activity only, that particular name must have
Oh,
come into being.
I have to look into it.
Okay. One, you studied Sanskrit. Is it?
Yes, sir.
In school.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you want to change your category from SC, ST, OBC, WS to unreserved?
Yes, sir.
And number 3, your subject itself, the optional subject.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with the last one.
Okay.
Why did they ask this question? Do you take it as a kind of something, a routine question, or Does it have any kind of...
So with respect to OBC, I would say that there is a creamy layer. So if people go beyond the creamy layer, they will have a chance to change it from OBC to unreserved after they qualify the prelims, I believe so. So that is probably the reason why they give this option.
Creamy layer OBC, does it really benefit them? Changing it to what? EWS or unreserved?
Does it?
If we change to unreserved,
Yes, sir.
OBC candidate in creamy layer, changing to unreserved, does it benefit him?
It does not, sir. They will be put into unreserved category. So they are changing it into unreserved because their income is beyond the creamy layer's income, sir.
Okay, but how does it him or her?
It does not help him, sir. It is just integrity, personal integrity. That we
Personal
have gone
integrity in the
beyond.
sense?
Sir, OBC reservation is given to those people who are below the creamy layer requirement, sir. So if the person suddenly has gone beyond creamy layer in that particular annual year, so they will be given an option to change into unreserved, sir. So that is the reason which I believe is given that question, sir.
But what is the basis for the reservation itself? Not only the OBC or anybody. What are the basics or the basis of the concept of reservation, introducing reservation?
Yes, sir. There are
is it for your economic purpose or social purpose?
There are two things, sir. First is to bring a socio-economic parity between different sections of society, and second is that improve the representation of unrepresented people at the government level, sir. So these are two things, sir.
If you go for this asking openly that would you like to change to unreserved,
yes, sir.
What does it convey?
To me, it does not convey anything, sir. It's just show your personal integrity for OBC if your annual income has changed. That is what I can think of.
Personal integrity in the sense, can you keep on assessing your personal integrity every year? Is there any mechanism? Every year, can you see the very fact that EWS has been introduced means all those people for generations together,
yes, sir,
they have been slightly better off compared than other communities, isn't it?
Socially, sir. Yes, sir.
Even economically, economic condition keeps changing.
Yeah, yes, sir.
A person, I think the other day I read somewhere, some lady requested that I am descendant of 6th Nizam,
Okay.
not 6th Nizam, maybe Humayun or somebody.
Okay.
You hand over that Red Fort to me. So where are those people? The descendants of? She may be right or wrong, or maybe her claim.
Yes, sir.
She may be eligible, may not be. There's a different issue. But then, many such people who were earlier the rulers, empire builders, their descendants are maybe rickshaw pullers and all. So that's why your economic thing,
Yes, sir.
it keeps changing
Yes, sir. Yes.
over the years.
Yes, sir.
But is it true about social? Does it change so easily?
No, sir. It cannot be changed.
Isn't
The
it?
social mindset has to be changed across the society so that we can bring parity in social disadvantages.
So what was the basic idea behind reservation?
When the constitution was made, the idea was to bring social parity, sir, and then bring representation. That
Yes.
was
These are the two major objectives.
yes, sir.
The idea is it's totally kind of an unequal society.
Yes, sir.
It's not just an equal society, but treacherously unequal society.
Yes, sir.
So unless you gave this kind of an opportunity to these people, the two, majority of people in that state, that condition.
Yes, sir.
So unless we make them, they cannot become part of nation building.
Yes, sir. True,
They
sir.
cannot feel that yes, we belong to this country.
True, sir. Yes.
We belong to this nation.
Yes, sir.
Unless you do that, they will not have that self-confidence. Yes, I too am human. I too can achieve,
Yes, sir.
and I too shall participate in the public life.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So if that is so, is it possible to correct or reverse the impact of social discrimination of some ages within 70 years, 75 years? Reservation came into being only
In the
after
70s. Yes, sir.
independence.
Yes, sir.
So within 75 years, can you think of
Sir, in urban areas, the social discrimination with respect to castes has been decreasing, sir.
How
But
can
it
you
is
say?
not uniform.
How can you say?
How can you say is that people are removing their caste names recently? Few people, not everybody. But again, there are cosmopolitan areas where people are working in private sector irrespective of caste, sir. They are working
so
together.
you mean to say, just because they are going to movies together or meeting on certain platforms, you feel that the feeling has gone?
No, sir. I'm not of that opinion, sir. I would say that caste still exists and it is a reality in India, sir. I'm saying there are certain areas where we have seen a change, start of change. It is just a beginning, sir. There is time, there is a long way to go where we'll achieve social parity in our society, sir. But when do we achieve? It depends on the changing the social mindset of people, sir. Behavioral change has to be brought about. But even in urban areas today, we see to give rooms to people of lower caste.
Yeah.
We see that people are asking for caste, sir. It is
Yes.
unfortunate.
Yes.
But we have to bring behavioral change, sir. A kind of unity, national unity.
How we can do that?
Sir, every person has multiple identities, sir. So, for instance, a person can have national identity, state identity, city's identity, and then caste identity. When people are putting their caste identity over other identities, it leads to caste discrimination, sir. We have to make a change such that other identities take precedence over this caste identity,
How
sir.
will you do that?
So reservations are one way, and the second is bringing everybody into the national mainstream. For instance, the tribals, they are in forests. They don't even have a chance of getting into national services. When there's some tribes like Gond, Chenchu, we have to bring them into mainstream by saying that your language will be accepted by us, your people will be accepted by us. A sort of companionship should be brought about, sir.
So you give the reason for state's failure also?
Sir, states failure as in the center and
I
state.
would use the word administrative failure, rather state failure. State doesn't mean state
Yes.
government,
Yes.
country.
So there are some issues with respect to state, but even state has been pushing for unity in society, sir. I don't think the state is adamant on putting caste. They have
You
no
have heard about this Jal Jangal Jameen concept?
Yes, sir.
Where
It
does
was-
it come?
It was brought about by Kumaram Bream, an Adilabad Gond tribal fighter, sir, against British.
Hmm.
So he gave the Nara called Jal Jangal Jameen to unite the tribals against the fight of British, sir.
So as of 2008, Banjara community has been listed as scheduled tribes
Yes, ma'am.
in Andhra and Telangana,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
But in the other states like Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and all, it was given OBC category,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Why is the difference of identity from state to state?
Yes,
What might be the reason?
So one primary reason could be vote bank politics of the state, and the second could be that we were part of Criminal Tribes Act, ma'am. We were deemed as criminal tribe under 1871 Act by the British. So because of the poverty and backwardness of the tribe, and so we were given the ST status, ma'am. But why specifically Telangana is Telangana or AP? It has to be seen from political perspective. But I would say that given the backwardness and the nomadic nature of the tribes in other states also, they should also be put under the ST status now, depending on how they are economically, socially. I believe socially they are still backward across the spectrum of nations.
So do you think we can treat two unequals as equals?
As an example, ma'am.
Women and men?
I
Or
don't
the
think.
caste
Yes.
related?
No, ma'am. We cannot we cannot treat unequals as equals. We have to make unequals as equals by providing them enough social and economic infrastructure.
From the perspective of modern history, our modern history, especially the Indian national movement part.
Yes, sir.
You heard about this word Rowlatt Act,
Yes, sir.
right? Can you tell me the essence why this act was brought by the Britishers in 1919?
Yes, sir.
I just want the essence.
Sir, I don't really remember the exact reason, but can I take a guess? Sir, post World War I, because of the famines and the low wages of people in India, there were protests all around the nation, sir. So the British wanted to bring about a Rowlatt Act to control these protests, sir.
You've gone completely wrong.
Sorry, sir.
When the Indian troops were taken to participate in World War I,
Yes, sir.
along with the Britishers,
Yes.
there they killed many Europeans.
Okay.
So the fear element for the Indians that you can get away killing a white man was to be broken.
I was not
Understand
aware of
the
this.
depth.
Yes.
So when these troops were returning, their discipline and their obedience to authority was seen to be dwindling. That is when the Britishers felt if we do not bring an act, that fear of getting away killing a white man will lead to a lot of trouble in holding on India. So with that intention, the Rowlatt Act was passed. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Try to
I've
get
read about it, yes, sir.
into depth of why events have happened.
Yes, sir.
There is a reason why Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened.
Yes, sir.
It is not only one person's misbehavior or
Yes,
misdemeanor.
yes.
It is an institutional mindset that was executed through him
Yes, sir.
to create fear or instill fear in the common population.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Sure.
Understand?
Yeah.
So, any books you have read beyond UPSC?
Sir, I have read a few novels, sir. One is on a tattoo wearer of Auschwitz.
Okay.
It is based on a tattoo person who used to put tattoos, numbers, on the persons who were brought to Auschwitz.
Okay.
And Auschwitz is the biggest concentration camp of Hitler, which was used to kill Jews, sir.
Okay. So, who, according to you, was the biggest dictator of all times and why?
So, with my limited knowledge, I would say that it would be Stalin, sir. Joseph Stalin of Russia, sir. He was ready to kill his own men to win a war against Germany. That is really brutal. And that is one most brutal
So,
dictator.
do you see brutality only in the theatre of war? I have given you a hint.
No, sir. It can be to quell internal protests as well.
Yes.
How you show your dictatorship.
Now
given
change
that-
the name. Come closer to Russia. Mao Zedong.
Oh, yes, sir.
It is said he is responsible for the death of more than
More than-
55 million his own people.
Yes, sir.
So on that dimension, he outrightly, crosses everybody else.
Yes, sir.
Take it. So that's one. So dictatorship does not mean only in the theatre of war or a battlefield.
Yes.
Dictatorship could be in socio, economic, and cultural.
Sure.
You remember that long march? Chinese long march, Mao Zedong's long march. Thoda
sir.
Google about it.
Yes, sir.
You will understand why he made that statement.
Broad idea about all the basic subjects.
Yes, sir. I have
History
read-
is one.
Yes, sir.
Indian economy is another. Indian polity and Indian environment and Indian social ethics.
Yes, sir.
Ethics in general, but with special reference to social ethics. You should have a kind of broad understanding. It's not about exactly knowing the Rowlatt Act, but unless you have a broad idea about what is historical developments of this country, what happened when,
Yes, sir.
but most important thing is why.
Yes, sir.
When is a fact
Yes, sir.
or a kind of a bit of a fact,
Yes, sir.
but why has serious implications. So that's why you should always go into depth of the things only when you know why a particular thing happened. So there, maybe it's not the question of Mao Zedong. There you have to understand. You may need to. You started with what is that? You said who was the Stalin,
Stalin, yes, sir.
and he said Mao Zedong.
Yes, sir.
It's not going into the politics of it. Both are communist countries, and so Western media always will find dictators in communists.
Yes, sir. Yes.
But it's not that. If
Always
you
start
see-
your answer with that quote.
If you see the greatest dictator of all time is Hitler. You know why? He is the one, he wanted to divide human beings into two categories. Superior race and rest of the people are inferior races.
Yes, sir.
That Aryanism. That's why he started killing Jews.
Yes, sir.
He killed 60 lakhs.
Yes.
6 million.
6 million.
It's not the question of numbers.
Yes, sir.
He had the idea that it's not only he, Jews are hated. You know why Jews are hated?
Because they were economically rich and they were moneylenders throughout the Europe, sir. And moneylenders are historically hated in every society because of the high. That's what
You
time.
should go into basics issue. These are all peripheral things, superficial things.
Yes.
Religiously, they have a belief that is the Jews who killed their God. Christians believe.
Okay.
Was Christ a Christian?
He was born
Jesus
as a
Christ?
Jew, I believe, sir. Yes, sir.
Was Jesus Christ a Christian?
He was born as a Jew, but after his death, Christianity was brought about, sir.
So he was a Jew.
Yes, sir.
But the Jews who demanded his execution. Since crucifixion was a kind of a normal, it's a normal
Yes,
practice.
yes, yes.
He has been crucified. So Christian people from 3rd century AD onwards, Christianity became imperial religion.
Okay.
A religion which should be talking about morality and all that. That religion became imperial,
Yes.
and imperial state, that is Roman Empire,
Yes, sir.
which was based on bloodshed and the wars all the time, it became Holy Roman Empire. Can you believe? An empire which
Believed in blood.
blood, that
Crusades.
became holy because it is a Christian.
Yes.
And
Narrative.
the church, which should be talking about religion and morality and all that, it has become imperial religion. So so during that period, they have developed this kind of a bogey, the Jews who killed our God. So they have that kind of, that is called pathetic hatred. They developed that kind of a hatred. They started killing. And it's Hitler having that kind of Christian belief. It's not because he was Christian.
Yes.
That can be a very good excuse, because the rest of the people are also hating Jews. In addition to that, this fellow has the feeling that Germans are the superhumans.
Levenstram theory.
Yes.
Theory of Levenstram.
We are superhumans.
Yes, sir.
That has become a philosophy. And have you heard of a philosopher called Nietzsche?
Yes, sir.
Who is that? Who was that?
I have just heard about him, sir, but I think it's Machiavelli kind of opinions, I believe.
So most of the philosophers, German philosophers, slowly they tried to change their position about polity and the state in terms of Hitler's mindset. What is that mindset? We are superior.
Aryanism.
This man, Nietzsche, said, we should create a Superman. Who is that Superman?
Hitler. Is
Not
it?
Hitler. Aryan race.
Okay.
Aryan race. He goes,
Friedrich Nietzsche, sir.
Hmm?
Friedrich Nietzsche.
Nietzsche
Nietzsche.
goes to the extent of creating a Superman. Superman means a man who doesn't have the useless weak qualities of kindness, helpfulness. These are all useless qualities. Kindness, helpfulness, fellow feeling, or useless weaknesses of human beings. This Christianity made poor people as the people who are the heirs of that God's kingdom.
Yes. Sir.
And this man said, by this, he made German race. Christianity made the German race, which is a superior, supreme, the kind of a nation of weak fellows, weak need, weak minded. So that's why he thought human beings can be superior by birth itself.
Hmm.
That's why he praises Indian Brahmins, saying that it is the Indian Brahmin who could really show to the world that Superman can be created. So in the process,
For depth, hai. A lot of depth.
Yes.
Try to
In
connect.
India, I believe this is Max Muller who gave the theory of Aryan migration.
that's a fact.
Yes. Sir.
So that's why, so all these things lead to one thing. That is, in human history, why is always important.
Yes.
Not when it happened, who participated. These are all questions for preliminary examination. But when it comes to make you an officer, actually all the British officers used to read a lot about history, economics, and the philosophy,
Made to read.
Hmm.
and local religions, local languages. Even now, it is the British officers and British historians and the British anthropologists who are the source for us to confirm whether a particular thing is a fact or not.
Not. Yes.
Okay, coming to your anthropology. Actually, this question about starting from your, do you change from reserved to unreserved?
Yes.
Think it over.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, second thing. You said that your optional is
Anthropology.
Anthropology.
Yes. Sir.
who is the greatest anthropologist?
Sir, in my personal belief, I would say it is Bronislaw Malinowski, sir.
Who?
Bronislaw Malinowski.
Malinowski.
What was his period?
He was a functionalist who worked in the early 19th century, sir. He changed the direction of anthropology. Earlier, everybody used to be armchair anthropologists, sir. They used to write just theories about tribes. They used to be like this, like that, just propagating racism kind of thing. But Bronislaw Malinowski went to an island in Micronesia, that is in the Pacific Ocean. He went to this island, Trobriand Islanders. The tribes were Trobrianders. He went there and studied them for 2 years, learned their language, wrote a detailed description of each and every aspect of their culture, economic, social, how their festivities are carried out, and found a link between each of these activities, sir. Let it be economic, let it be trade, how they carry about. So So he kind of changed the direction of anthropology, and after that, every other anthropologist started to do these visiting other islands in person and then making up theories, making social laws, and it has spread even to sociology as a discipline, sir.
Have you heard of Levi Strauss?
Lévi-Strauss, yes, sir, French anthropologist.
So what is his contribution to anthropology?
Sir, he was a structuralist, sir. He wanted to look at how people perceive their culture. Normally, other anthropologists wanted to study culture as they see. But Lévi-Strauss wanted to study how people see their own culture. He wanted to study their structures in their mind. And he says that these structures in mind are reflected in their aspects of culture like language. So he studied linguistics to understand how culture is operated, sir.
So which is more impactful, Malinowski's or Strauss?
So I would go with Malinowski, sir.
So impact-wise,
Yes, sir.
you feel that studying a particular area is more impactful.
Yes, sir. Lévi-Strauss theory could not give any plausible conclusion, sir. While Malinowski's work could give our understanding about economic anthropology. Actually, his study of Trobriand Islanders started the economic anthropology as a subdiscipline of anthropology, sir. Earlier, people used to think that every person thinks in economic terms of profit and loss. But Malinowski showed that it is not only about profit and loss, it is the social relationships that also matter while taking economic decisions, sir. So this way he started economic anthropology as well, sir.
So did Strauss not say that your social structures
Yes.
are built on cultural?
Sir, I believe Radcliffe Brown has said that, sir. So Radcliffe Brown he's a structural functionalist, sir. So he wanted to study social structures as from the view of society, while Malinowski wanted to study the social structure from the view of an individual. He concentrated on individual needs and saw which function each social institution plays in each individual's lives. That is what matters, is what Malinowski said, sir. But Radcliffe Brown said that we should not look from the perspective of individual, but we have to look at from the perspective of the society. What role each social institution plays to maintain the social structure of the whole society is what matters. That's what Brown
So is
said.
it not more impactful? Which
Sir,
is more impactful?
Sir, in terms of impact, I would say that both are impactful, sir. Both have their own niche, and when we are trying to find social laws, we cannot say that this is more important or this is more important, sir. These are just two other broad perspectives to study what is a social structure. We still don't know. Every person has his own perspective about social structure, sir.
How?
Does it solve individual needs or does it solve societal needs? It solves both, sir, I would say.
An individual,
Yes, sir.
what you are saying is perception.
Yes, sir.
Perception is different from understanding. What you perceive is always external. So your perspective could be based on a limited experience
Yeah, I agree, sir.
or your individual experience.
Yes, sir.
Can you generalize?
Sorry, sir.
Can you generalize based on your individual experience?
I don't think we can, sir.
Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So society is a bigger frame.
Canvas.
So why social structures are in this form as they are?
Yes, sir.
Is it based on some individual's opinion or individual's influence?
No, sir. It
However powerful an individual could be,
yes, sir. It is.
can he make a social structure?
No, sir. They are just a constituents of social structure, sir.
Anyway, I think since now, the last thing,
Yes, sir.
you read Sanskrit.
Yes, sir.
Can you write?
It is written in Devanagari script only, sir.
Sir,
So it is like Hindi.
You can write Devanagari.
Yes, sir.
You can read it fluently. Devanagari.
It's been a long time, so reading Devanagari, yes, sir.
Who is the first grammarian in the world?
So I think it is Panini, sir.
Pani.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is the other name for his book? It's called Ashtadhyayi.
Yes, yes,
It has only 8 chapters.
yes, sir.
Why I asked you about this is, he defines the structure of language in each chapter. Sanskrit has a kind of unique distinction. Do you know what is that? You can build Sanskrit. If you know Sanskrit alphabets and the roots, it's like mathematics.
Yes, recently a British researcher has worked on it, sir, and he found the missing puzzle in the Sanskrit, in the Ashtadhyayi book, to be able to code so that even the machine can understand Sanskrit now, and we can use it for coding as well, sir.
They have that unique distinction of all the languages, though it has the sister languages, the cousins, which are equally ancient, but their grammatical structure is not based on a particular order. Their grammatical structure is based on the practice, how people speak, how the words have changed over a period of time, how the meaning of words changed over a period of time. But in Sanskrit, the meanings don't change over a period of time. The reason is, each word can be built based on certain grammatical principles. They go by the root. You take any Sanskrit word, it will have a root. You know what is root? Dharani, Bhu, Shru, Shruti, Smriti. Have you heard of those words? What is called Shruti? What is called Smriti?
They are part of music, I believe, sir. Not
Shruti is Veda. Smriti is
where we have, yes,
Dharma Shastra. So all these, their expression, if you are imaginative, you can create any number of new words in Sanskrit.
yes, sir.
It depends on you. Anyway, now I think what you have to, one thing, be relaxed.
Yes, sir.
Second thing, read little more about the basics and background of the subjects, especially about Indian polity, history, economy and environment,
Yes.
ethics, a broad view of the world history. Brush it up.
Yes.
So wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Good. Naik, it was good. What sir told, try to bring depth in your preparation. That's all.
Yes.
It's not that you don't know. You know, but you don't know it all.
Yes.
That's the idea. Take it. So certain facets, yes, like the question on Mao Zedong or the question on the anthropology. Anthropology, sir was talking at a very high level. An author or an anthropologist who gave structure to the entire stream,
Yes, sir.
as per him, gets the more weightage because the entire thing flows from there. That's the reason why your grammar question came from there. So understand from that perspective.
Yeah.
But I feel you are a very strong candidate. Take a good composure, calm. Sir, correct me if I am wrong. At one or two occasions, I sense that air of arrogance in the personality. That should be avoided.
Sure.
UPSC will cull you vertically if you show that there.
Yes, sir.
I may be wrong in my reading,
Yes.
but try to calm down. You're strong at your hobby. That part of your DAF is very strong, and I'm sure you'll be able to address that part of questions very well.
Yes.
But the moment they realize that is your strength area, they'll come out of it
Okay.
and take you to an area where you're weak. Okay? So the element of modesty in the personality, थोड़ा उस पे काम करो. बाकी rest. Your date has not yet come, right?
No, sir.
So time is there. I'll be in touch with you.
Yeah,
Take
sure.
care. I'll share the precepts of the interview also with you. We'll have a detailed debriefing session also.